Hello, and welcome to the Disconnected Gamers podcast, where we reconnect, connect with life and gaming. You know, video games, controllers, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Never mind. I'm one of your hosts, Andrew, also known as J-Bon. With me, as always,
your boy Mike.
it is Sunday, January 31st, the last podcast we will ever do in January in 2016. The last of its kind. And as always, I like to say the weather is nice. Weather is nice.
Yeah.
A little cold, but it's,
It's like warm over here.
See, it's good. It's good. Good. I'm feeling it. So Mike and I were chatting before we started up the podcast, and I want to title this episode, and I'm probably going to, "What's the fucking deal with Xbox?" And it'll probably be a variation of that, because I don't want to put "fuck" in the title, because then like somebody will cry and bitch.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So it'll probably be like, "What's the deal with Xbox One?" And what I mean by that is, why is it so fucking slow? Seriously,
yeah.
What the
everything?
Fuck? What the fuck?
And the store's stupid.
I was streaming it yesterday. We were streaming. We were trying to play the Master Chief Collection, which, yeah, I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, "Yeah, well, that was your first problem." Like, first off, shut up, okay? I bought the Xbox One because of the Master Chief Collection, because I wanted to play Halo with my friends, and then, yeah, that was a complete and utter disaster. It was awful. It was stupid, yes. But I want to play Xbox. I really do. But I hate how long it takes to do pretty much anything on that console. And yes, they did the new Xbox experience. It was supposed to speed it up. If somebody wanted to point me in the direction of a YouTube video that proves that it's sped up in any form at all, even by like 5 seconds, sure.
Right.
I disagree. I think it's just as slow as it ever was. It's harder to find stuff now.
It's a weird interface.
And this is I went to school for graphic design. I took classes in user experience and user interaction. Everything about the Xbox One frustrates me. No, it's so close to being
like a design standpoint, or just
everything. There's the way the workflow and the menus and the layout, and just it's so close. It's so like Windows 8 sucked. Right?
Unless you had a touchscreen.
Yeah, unless you had a touchscreen, like, because they designed it around touch, and it was not everybody has a touchscreen. So, Windows 7, pretty good. Didn't have any problems with it, because it was basically just a graphically upscaled version of, Windows Vista and Windows XP. Like, it's kind of, the functionality effectively was kind of the same. From a user experience standpoint. And then you went to 8, which was like, hey, we're just going to screw the pooch and change everything, right?
Yeah.
And then they went to Windows 10, which was like, okay, we're going to pull back from Windows 8, give you your regular kind of normal Windows experience with like a desktop and a taskbar at the bottom or menu bar, whatever you want to call it, Windows bar. But still has the kind of live tile experience, and if you want, you can make it the full screen, or you can have it be like the small one, like the start menu used to be.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyways, I get that they were trying to kind of
integrate that.
They're trying to integrate the families, if you will, like the Windows family and the Xbox family. They're trying to integrate them. I get it.
Right.
But it's not working, and I don't like it.
Something should stay separate.
And I would love to get inside the head of somebody who truly like enjoys the Xbox One experience, because I don't understand like what else they do in life and what other systems they use where like this does not frustrate you navigation wise, like trying to get into all the different. And yes, obviously I know how the menus work. I know how to get to my games. I know how to get into the settings.
Yeah,
I know how to open a party and start it, but it's like everything takes way too. It just no, I don't like it. Like, and that's why I'm sure everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, he's a pony, he loves Sony, he's just a pony guy, oh my god." No, it's just fucking simple. It's like Apple. Apple took out all the nonsense and made
Yeah.
everything super simple. It's simplistic.
Yeah.
That yes, I don't have the ability to make as many changes to things on an Apple system as I do on a Windows. And before you get pissed, I own both. I've owned
Right.
both. I have a Mac. I have an Alienware. I have IBM PCs at work. I have Gateway PCs at work. I had a Gateway PC when I was a kid. I had a Packard had a fucking Packard Bell. Had a Dell Inspiron 4150, my first laptop. Had a Pentium 4 processor. And not a mobile one, a desktop one.
Oh,
Thing
wow.
cruised. 512 megs of RAM. Had like a 40
That
gig
does
hard
not-
drive. Thing was bitchin'. Played a lot of CSGO. And watched a lot of porn.
But that's besides the point.
Yeah, I mean, that thing was a powerhouse. But... So, like, I've used both systems. There are things I love about Windows, and things I love about Apple, right? And they both have their own place, right? I can't really game on a Mac. It wouldn't matter which one I have. It's just not, no.
Yeah.
So I have my PC for that, but I also like certain things about the PC for management stuff, it seems easier, right? But then there's certain things that I find to be generally creatively speaking that are just easier to work on Mac. You know, it's just like, and I'm not saying like Photoshop runs better. They both run the same, but it seems like workflow wise,
you'll get more done on the Mac.
Well, it's easy. Like there are different shortcuts and things that are easier when I'm trying to combine different, like work in between different programs.
Right.
You know I can Alt Tab between programs, but on both systems, but it seems like everything is just
it's more streamlined.
It's a little more streamlined on Apple. That said, I have a friend who used to, when we were in school, design school, a very good design school. I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't fucking tell anybody really where I went to school. It's in the top 20 list of top design. It's actually in the top 10 design schools every year. It just... No, I'm just, you know what? I'm just going to stop. It's because it doesn't, like, the problem is I need to sit down with people who love the Xbox experience. I really need to sit down, like, because I need to understand why, like,
exactly.
Have you not used something other than that Xbox before? Like, even the Xbox 360 crushed the Xbox One. It was everything was so much faster. And yes, the Xbox One One does more stuff, but it's a fucking faster piece of equipment. Like it's like, you know, how much more power does an Xbox One have than an Xbox 360? It should be the experience should be smooth. Menus should be like fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And before this was before we jumped on the call and before we started recording. I was looking up if you can defrag the hard drive, right? Because on Xbox you can, or Xbox on PlayStation you can do the rebuild database. You know, if you get into like the safe mode thing. But I've yet to see that on.
I don't think Xbox has a safe mode or whatever.
I don't think they do either. But on the Xbox 360, there used to be a thing where you could, if you like held the bumpers and start, optimize. It would like optimize the content.
Yeah,
that doesn't apparently exist on Xbox One yet. I don't know why. If you're building it to be a lot like a computer, I would think that defragging
would have a
thing. And if I can't replace my hard drive in the Xbox One, and all I can do is put an external in, like there should be a feature for that to be there.
Right.
So, like, I'm hating on Xbox. I'm hating on them. It's frustrating. It's frustrating because I want to play and enjoy the console. I like Halo. I like I want to play the games that are on Xbox. You know, I have friends who only play Destiny on Xbox, but I'm not going to buy Destiny for Xbox One because I already have it for PS4, and I'm not buying 2 copies of the game. But like, everything about the console pushes me to want to just play the games on PS4, right? Obviously, I can't play Halo 5. I can't play Master Chief Collection, you know, Rare Replay. I have to have an Xbox for Titanfall.
Titanfall, yeah.
So it's I don't know. And like Xbox exclusives, I don't want to. I'm not like if it's Xbox exclusive timed like Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I played Tomb Raider on Xbox. It was free with Xbox Gold,
Yeah.
and so I played through it, and it froze every single time I streamed it. Now that could be because the console can't handle streaming. Because I find that snapping the Twitch app, snapping apps in general, way too slow. Way too slow. Takes way too long.
It doesn't even work.
Well,
a buddy of mine couldn't get it. A buddy of mine couldn't even get it to work. Yeah. Like it would straight up tell him, like not optimized on his screen or something like that. And give him some weird error message and just wouldn't work.
Yeah. So that became. I don't know. It's like, and part of me is just like, do I have a defective Xbox? Like, maybe my Xbox is just broken. Like, maybe I need to go use someone else's Xbox and be like, why is this so much faster? You know, like maybe that's what it is. Like, you know, my hard drive is like 80% full, but again, that shouldn't slow it down. That really shouldn't slow it down. Especially because I can't upgrade the hard drive. I'd have to go buy an external hard drive and like move games onto the external. Like, I don't really want to do that. Seems kind of like a waste of time.
Right.
Yeah, so I want to enjoy it. I want to like it. I just want it to be better, right? I feel like with the amount of hardware that is in this thing, with the amount of power that this unit has, that it should run better, right? Because I have to think of it from this perspective. My Alienware Alpha is an i3 with a 500 gig hard drive. It's got a 2 gigabyte graphics card built into it. It's DDR5, which I believe the Xbox is DDR3. I should Google.
Yeah, I think so.
It's just Xbox One hardware.
Something like that.
I don't want to speak. Yeah, okay, 8 gigabyte DDR3 RAM. And it's the CPU, according to this, IGN.com's wiki. It's an 8-core AMD custom CPU with a speed of 1.75 gigahertz, right? My Alienware is a dual-core i3 2.9 gigahertz. So they're not equal. They're not equal. They're similarly equal because we both have 8 gigs of RAM. We both have a 2 gig memory, 2 gig graphics card. I'm like graphics card. So because it's 8 gig, yeah, because RAM, flash memory. Wait, what? Yeah, USB 3.0. Anyways, so GPU 853 peak throughput. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. If it has 8 gigs of RAM and 8 gigs of flash memory, I have to assume that the 8 gigs of RAM, the video card is 8. No. Whatever. My brain isn't working right now. But stats wise, the Alpha and the Xbox One are similar. And my Alienware Alpha is Windows 10, and the Xbox One is Xbox One Experience, which is kind of like Windows 10, but it's not. You would think, stat-wise, that the Xbox would totally outpace a base model Alienware Alpha. And for reference, the Alienware cost me $440 at Walmart, and the Xbox would have been, at the time, what, $399? I mean, I paid like $379 because I got a deal with Newegg, and it came with, Xbox Live and some games and shit. But it's one of those things where I'm looking at the stats of this machine, and I'm thinking, how can it be so slow? Like, how can the system be so unoptimized that just loading up the home screen makes it not function well. And like here's the thing, on my alpha, I disabled all of the like the live tile stuff. Like even in the start menu, because it'll show like calendar, weather, news, all that. I disabled all of it. I disabled it on my tablet too, because it's just wasting processing power. Because I don't need it to be doing that. Why can't I customize my Xbox One dashboard? You want it to be like a computer. You want it to be like, you know, Windows 10-ish within reason. But you also, you know, and I say you also, I'm thinking that Xbox, Microsoft, they want it to be your everything console, which is something that PlayStation tried to do and was like ultimately like, well, this is stupid, and then they went back to just being a game console.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Allow me to customize everything about my Xbox One experience. Allow me to just have my home screen be parties, games, settings, friends list. That's like messaging.
Simple.
Like I need 5 things. I need to be able to see who's online. I need to be able to see my games. I need to be able to send messages and join parties, which maybe that's the same thing. No, it's not, separate. And that's like it.
Right.
Yeah. I
simple.
don't give a shit about fucking movies or Netflix.
Yeah, no, don't care.
Don't need
care.
it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Meh. Yeah, I mean Netflix on my Xbox would be fine, but I don't have Netflix, so like let me just remove that. Like let me remove the TV thing at all, right? I generally don't buy games from the store, and the store is clunky as fuck to begin with too, and I don't even want to go down that route. Not even interested.
Yeah, let's not start there.
Because it's like the store is almost like they copied Netflix, and like Netflix works because it's movies and there's a pattern, but like when I want to find a video game, I want to be able to find it. I don't want to have to type into the search thing every single time. Like it should just be like, boom, here's your free games with gold for the month. Here's the section where you find them. Here's the Xbox. Like you can't even do whatever. I could go into things about the PS4 that I can't fucking stand too. Like the PS4 store has a million fucking menus, and you can't buy Vita stuff from the fucking PS4 store. You can't get your PS3 stuff from the PS4 store. Like, both of them fail on that. Like, I should be able to purchase the license for all of these things from the one store. And yes, I know that complicates it, and that means that you have to add all these menus and stuff. Oh, well, boo fucking who?
Right.
Add the fucking menus. Let me purchase the fucking... or at the very least, put in for the PS Plus stuff every month. Same with Xbox Gold.
Yeah.
Put in the 360 and the Xbox One games so that I can at least download them all the same. Especially when I can play the 360 games on the Xbox One. They should be there.
Right.
They should be there. You know, much like, you know, I can't play anything other than PS4 games on the PS4, but I should be able to get those licenses for them.
You would think. Well, the stupid thing is, real quick, is you can search for PS3 games. Like, you could search for the titles. Obviously, there's just going to be nothing there because you can't buy them. But I think it's dumb that you can look for stuff like that on the store. But you can't, like you were saying, you can't just, you know.
I just want to acquire the license so I don't have to, go turn on my PS3, which isn't fucking, it's not going to fucking happen. Sorry. Once that thing got unplugged, it's unlikely. It's just sitting on the floor. Part of me is like, oh, I should plug it back in because I could go finish Tales of Xillia because I'm literally at the end boss. And then I'm just like, yeah, but you know what I did on my PS2? I got to the end boss in Snake Eater and was like, cool. Don't need to beat it. I know what happens. I know. We've talked about this, though. I literally have a save file at Big Boss.
It's true.
And I'm just like, meh, peace. So, yeah, it's... I don't know. There's a lot of things about the X, and again, part of it I wonder is that I didn't have. So I didn't have a PlayStation 1. I was Nintendo pretty much all the way to GameCube, and then I got a PS3 and then a Wii U, or a Wii U and then a PS3 maybe. But I had I had a PS2, right? And then I got a PS2 way late in the game. I didn't get it when it came out. And then I didn't get a PS3 until well into the PS3's lineage,
Yes. Same.
and that was like so. And I didn't have it. My brother had a 360, and we had an Xbox original, but we didn't use Xbox Live. And the Xbox original console was if you like, man, that menu for the Xbox was so it's so weird going back and looking at it. But at the same time, it's like it worked, you know? It did everything you needed it to do. And that's the thing, right? It was simple. And I think that the Xbox One is trying a little too hard to do way too much stuff.
Yeah.
And either you need to optimize the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Pardon my French. Or you need to start removing stuff. Like either what there's only two answers to this. Well, I guess there's three, right? So option A is that the console can't handle all the stuff that it's doing. It's underpowered, right? It's trying to do too much stuff. Or option B is that it's so unoptimized that the console can't do it. That the console is powerful enough to do it, but the current user interface experience, everything is so poorly optimized that nothing runs well, right? Option C is that my Xbox is broken and I'm just the only person that's experiencing this, which I tend to believe is not true.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Because I'm not the only one who complains about how clunky it is. So, I tweeted at Phil Spencer. I'm sure he doesn't give a shit because I'm just a random guy. And I tweeted him and was like, why is the user experience so bad? Like, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. And like, I would like love to go out and meet with the user interface architect guy or the team and be like, can you walk me through this? Can you walk me through your process, right? And I'm sure tons of people be like, why do they give a shit what you think? And I'd be like, because I just need to understand it. And that's a positive thing for anyone who's even remotely not sure why that's a good. You want to understand things better. Like, if you don't understand something and you go, fuck it, right? Like, on something like quantum physics, that seems okay. But on something like, something that you use and interact with every day, like your video game experience, we should have some understanding of why they chose things and why things don't work. Because and for perfect example, I guarantee that the majority of people who play PlayStation, play Xbox, have no fucking clue about network architecture. None whatsoever. I bet you less than 10%, less than 5% have any real worldly understanding of network administration, systems administration, networking. They're not Cisco. What's the term for a Cisco? It's a systems administrator. It's a course you can take that you get certified as a Cisco networks. Esteban would know because I think he took that course.
Isn't that basically what he does?
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple of my friends, they do that. That's like in Darwin. Shout out to Darwin if you're listening. He's a network administrator, systems IT guy, so he would know this stuff. But everyone's always like, I can't believe the PSN is down. Why is the PSN down? Well, even if they tried to probably explain to you what the actual issue was, it's unlikely you would understand it, right?
Exactly.
But you're not immediately going, I should learn how to do network administration because I know how we can fix this, right? Because everyone's response is just buy more servers.
Yeah.
Why don't you just buy more servers? Well, if that was the case,
they would do it.
Like that's like telling a fat person, why don't you just walk more?
Yeah.
The fucking earth earth is miles and miles around. Just walk. Just go outside and walk. Oh, if it was that easy.
Oh, thanks.
And I pick on on fat people. But it's not. It's not that easy. It's
not as simple.
This episode is a train wreck.
I get what you're saying. It's not as simple as people would think.
It's not as simple as people would think, and I want to understand Because then I wouldn't be upset. Like if they told me, hey, we designed it in mind with these features, and this was stuff that we thought was going to come into to play, and it didn't, so we built the system around these concepts, and then I would be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And so instead, you pushed it out and said, now we're going to focus on making a new experience, and we're going to have to update it over time to work around all of these things. You know, we've also got APIs from other people floating into this console because we've got the TV stuff, we've got the games with Gold Division, we've got the store, we've got the Netflix, we've got the, you know, the Hulu, the YouTube, the Twitch, you know, all these different things all having to, you know, work simultaneously. Yeah, that's a power crunch. I get it. But I need to hear it from, like, the horse's mouth, I think would be the expression.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, again, they don't care. They don't care about me as an individual. They care about me as a gamer, but they don't care about me as the individual who needs to understand this on, like, a more direct level. Like, it just doesn't... Again, and yes, I'm not Mr. Super Amazing Designer, Mr. Works for tons of cool companies. Like, if I was designing the interface for the Xbox, I would have it would not look like that. It would not look like what the Xbox One looks like.
Right. No integration.
No, it would have integration, but everything would be
Well, I mean, not
different.
Windows integration, at least.
No, I would want it to integrate with Windows.
Would you?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess not the way it is right now.
Well, it's like, think about it. It's like, well, what I presume to be the remote play on PC, right? You know, PS4, it wants to do remote play on PC, which eliminates the need for a Vita, which is like shooting that console in the foot, which is dumb, but whatever. Like, it's just fucking it's just really stupid. Like, hey, we built a handheld console around the concept of that it allowed you to use your PS4 portably. Mm-hmm. Instead, we're just going to let you do it from your computer. And so now you don't have to buy this product that we invested millions into development. It's beneficial for people who don't have a PlayStation Vita, but anyone who has one and or was thinking about getting one, there's no reason to now. Unless you really were itching to play certain Vita games, which, yes, there are tons of Vita games. None that really tickle my fancy, but I'm not saying that there aren't games out there. I'm not going to say there's no games.
No, yeah, that bothers me when people do that.
You know, and the same thing, like, there's tons of games on Xbox, none that have really caught my
there's
attention,
nothing that
you know?
Yeah, makes you get it, yeah, exactly.
It's like, most of the indie games that I want to play, you know, some of them are indie on Windows 10 and Xbox One, so I'm going to get them on Xbox One. And if it's you know, PC or PS4, I'm probably going to get it on PS4, right? Perfect example, Viking Squad, Slick Entertainment, my boys, my homies. Viking Squad is going to be PS4 and Steam. So I'm probably going to get it on PS4. Fortified, Clapfoot Studios, fantastic guys, met them at PAX Prime. Fortified is Xbox One and Windows 10. And that comes out next week, I believe. Actually, yeah, I think it's next week.
Next week, yeah.
So that I will get on Xbox One because I want it on Xbox One. I don't want it on my computer. I want it on Xbox One because I want more stuff to play on Xbox One. That said, when I have the option to pick between PS4 and Xbox One, generally speaking, I'm going to pick PS4. One, in my experience, PS4 tends to run better. I've had games on PS4 crash. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I've lost save files, had to start stuff over.
I haven't had that happen.
But, you know,
neither side is perfect.
Yeah, neither side is perfect, but on my mileage, PS4 tends to run better. However, I thought Fallout 4 ran like a piece of garbage. I thought Fallout 4 was so crappy on the PS4. The frame rate sucked. It was slow. It's just certain times the game loaded, and I think it was because the game tried to do too much. Now, again, some people were saying that it ran great on Xbox One. I don't have a copy to run it, to check it. I would love to see it on Xbox One. I said this before when we talked about Fallout 4 on the Fallout 4 episode. You can go back and listen to it. I wanted to play it on Xbox One to see if it ran better, because people were saying that it did. And again, I bet you there are games that maybe run better on Xbox than they do on PS4. There probably are. It seems, you know. So I don't know. Sorry. That was like a way longer rant than I thought I was going to go on with Xbox. But again, like, just message me then. Like, if somebody's listening and they're like, no, you can totally optimize your Xbox. Like, just tell me how to do it. I want my Xbox to run smoother. I know that that's not going to fix the matchmaking times in Master Chief Collection. It's not going to make it better.
No.
But if it makes the experience of getting to wait for the matches better, I'll take it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I just. It's a pun intended. It's a turnoff. It doesn't make me want to turn the console on, because I'm always like, oh, I got to go through the stupid sluggish menus to get something. God forbid my NAT type gets reset on my router, and then I've got to screw with that to get it to an open NAT, so I have the best chance of getting into matches with people.
Too much work.
Which, and it's like I've never not been Type 2 NAT on PS4. And like, yeah, the PS4, the party chat system, when it would be like, oh, you can't talk to so-and-so because of NAT issues. Like, but we can connect to each other in the game, we just can't talk to each other, right? That happens less now than it ever did in like year one of the PlayStation. But I find that the Xbox, just every single time I want to play games, it's like my NAT is different. And my NAT is different when I'm on wired or wireless to the same router. Another thing that's frustrating is that it does not store more than one wireless network setting. So if I want to bring the console over to, my friend's house, I've got to manually re-enter the wireless stuff. And then when I get home, I got to manually re-enter my wireless stuff. Maybe that's changed in the new experience. I haven't brought my Xbox One anywhere, so I wouldn't know. But
no, it makes me re-sign in with details every time. Anytime I take it anywhere, I have to re-sign in details. So it has not changed.
So that's where I'm at. And so, yeah. What's your topic? I'm done.
So
it's all you. I'm not going to talk anymore.
Division
I'll
beta
talk, but
came out Friday? It started on the 29th.
It came a day earlier on the Xbox One. So if it's whatever, it started a day.
So
Xbox
29,
One people got it a day earlier. Yes, and they they extended it for 1 day.
Okay, yeah. I think it ends today, though. Is what I thought. It is in tomorrow. Then.
No, they extended it to Tuesday.
Tuesday, okay. So, people, apparently there was something in the UK store where you could pre-order the game, get the beta, and then just cancel it because it doesn't charge your card on the spot.
Yeah, that's a United States thing. So not everywhere is it legal to not allow for refunds on like digital things. So
because Amazon does that. They don't charge you until they ship the game.
Right, but I'm saying if you did a digital code, they instantly give you the code. Yeah. But if you pre-order it digitally, I think you can still cancel it digitally from Amazon because they have not delivered you the product.
Well, yeah, it's on
the PSN. On the PSN, well, obviously this is PSN store. This is a PSN store thing. In America or the United States. Or the North American
and UK. In this article, it says UK.
Yeah, that's
among
what I'm
other
saying.
Regions,
right?
They don't charge you on the spot, or some places they do, but some places they don't.
No.
So you can just pre-order it and then cancel it.
Yes.
Get the beta and cancel.
Mike, stop! I was trying to. In the United States, they don't have to issue you a refund, is what I'm saying. So if I pre-order, so that's what I'm saying. If I pre-order it here, you can't cancel it.
No,
In
yeah,
the
yeah.
UK, yes.
I got
In some other places, you can cancel. That's why this glitch obviously was being exploited. Fuckers.
that's what I was going to get to. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it ruins, people like you, me, that legit want to get the beta. We're not going to cancel whatever we want to legit get the beta. So it ruins that for us. But yeah, people doing that, and so Ubisoft was like, no, doesn't matter if you pre-order or not, no beta,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah, beta whatsoever. And we're gonna try to get codes, whatever, but now it's basically almost too late because it's almost over anyways. So
Right. Yeah, that was my whole thing because like people were like, just pre-order the game and cancel the pre-order, and I was like, that's shitty. That's shitty. That is, it's not illegal,
no,
and it's not, it's not, it's like it's not illegal, but it is kind of stealing because you're making an obligation to a company and saying, "Hey, I'm going to purchase this product, and in return, I get something for it." And then you take that thing and say, "Just kidding," and you keep the thing. That's not how it works. You, in theory, should have to give back the code. The code should become invalid, but obviously they access the code, they apply it to their account, and then they cancel the
being
thing.
canceled.
And that is not cool. I don't think that that's cool. I think that's shitty. It's you're lying to the company. You're lying to the company. And yes, GameStop, not a great company. People don't like them. They're shitty with their used game prices and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, like, oh, but they're not, they're screwing us, so I'm screwing them. But it doesn't. Ultimately, you hurt the people who wanted to legitimately pre-order the game and hopefully get a beta code, because at the point where you actually have to turn down people who pre-ordered the game to give codes to, that means a ton of people somehow swindled their way into codes.
Yep. There's also people giving away codes online too.
Yeah, people were giving away codes because Ubisoft may have been giving codes to certain people.
Well, not even people like that. Like literally, I've seen forums and people saying, "Hey, does anyone have an extra code?" And that people are like, "Here you go. Here's the giveaway."
And you're making an assumption that they went and pre-ordered and canceled to get an extra code to give away or something. Yeah. It's possible.
Right. Like I'm sure but like you saying, there's legit.
There's legit people but there's also legit people who just wanted to pre-order the game to get the beta and try it, and now it's just like, well, I just pre-ordered the game and I could have just bought it when it came out.
Basically.
So that's, it's like my personal opinion is that is shitty. Have I done that? I believe that I did it once. I think I did it once. And I honestly, it's the funny thing is I can't remember what it was for.
I know people do it.
To even like be like, oh, I'm shitty because I did it once, right? I'm not trying to be the pot calling the kettle black. I can't even remember what it was for. And I want to say it was Amazon. But I don't like to pre-order games. I think that's dumb.
It's kind of dumb.
I think it's an interest-free loan to whatever company you pre-order the game from, and generally speaking, the pre-order benefits. And I think we did an episode on this early on when we started the podcast. The pre-order benefits generally do not.
They're not interested.
I'm just not interested. I don't care about free skins and an unlimited weapon. Yeah. The only times I generally pre-order a game would be when I would be so concerned that I wouldn't get a copy, right? So like Halo 5 was a game that I was like, man, I should probably pre-order this.
Yeah.
And then I didn't. And I still haven't bought it, but it's like $40 and I should really just go buy it. Like I'm not going to have trouble going to find a copy now. But like when Halo 2 came out,
oh, good luck.
Yeah, I remember being in the line to pick up my pre-order. And a kid I went to high school with was in line, and I was like, dude, what's up? Like, because he kind of lived far away, and I'm like, why are you at this, like, GameStop? And he was like, because this one's technically the closest near me, and it was the only one that was still taking pre-orders. And he was like, but I had to come back. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I'm not 17. So he had to go back. They let him pre-order the game, and then when he went to pick it up, they wouldn't give it to him because he wasn't 17.
Oh.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, so I'm sitting in line and I'm like, fuck, am I 17? And then I was like, no, I'm 17. I'm 17. And of course, that was right when I walked up to the line and the guy was like, are you 17? And I was like, yes, I'll give you my license if you'd like. Because that was before they actually had to, like, scan your license when you bought games.
Yep.
Because at, like, Target, they always scan my license. Because most of the time I buy games at Target, actually.
They usually have good deals.
Yeah.
I'll give them that.
And that's pretty much why I buy them there. And it's also close. The GameStop in Target are in the same, like, mall parking lot area. They're separate buildings, but it's, like, in the same strip mall.
Same malls. Yeah.
So I don't have to actually, like, it's not like they're so, like, that it's so far away that I can't go.
Right.
And so, anyways, pre-orders, I don't do it. But I don't like the idea of pre-ordering and then canceling just to
canceling,
get...
yeah.
Because it takes away from the people who legitimately wanted to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thing.
Especially if the thing is on, especially since this beta is in high demand, they're trying to get codes to everyone that they can, especially on the waiting list. But they're not guaranteeing that you're going to get a code.
Yeah, I got the email on the waiting list that said if you're on the waiting list, you're probably not getting a code.
Right. I didn't even get an email back, so
yeah,
I know for sure I'm not getting one.
But whatever. I really do want to check out the game.
No, yeah, I really do want to try the beta.
So it's like I'm kind of hoping that they'll, it's one of those things like I wish demos were more of a thing like they used to be, right? And
yes,
I think I think that this pushes a new thing that's going to happen that when you do when the shift to digital only exists. Right?
And they're going to have to put out demos.
They're going to have to put out demos because something like Redbox isn't going to be able to exist anymore.
Right? Scam that too, but that's a whole other topic.
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's
that. Redbox is definitely not going to cut it.
But it's like, in a digital-only world, or as the shift to more digital things goes, like, it's harder for us to try games. And it's like, I can't pay $60 on a whim, and now Steam has fixed that by doing the 2-hour return thing. Or 14 days, but if you play more than
like that,
14 days, but you've got to play less than 2 hours, and so. All right, so we're back. We took a small interruption break, but I don't even remember exactly where we were. I just remember we were talking about how it's crappy when people pre-order stuff.
Pre-order and cancel.
Yeah, and obviously that screwed a lot of people over, but it also, in the same right, shows how much people
care to get these games.
Well, care to get the Division beta. A lot of people clearly are interested in the game, and I mean, I think we said this before, and maybe this week I've been in kind of a shitty mood. And I've also felt like that it's one of those things where, like, I feel like I have nothing to play. Right? And it's like, I don't really want to play Destiny, though we rolled it for a bit. And then we rolled Halo. And I had more fun playing Halo than I did playing Destiny.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the nostalgia factor.
I think it's nostalgia factor, at least for me.
Yeah. So it's like, but I agree. I think,
it's crappy.
Yeah, Division, you can no longer pre-order from the PSN and cancel. The UK PlayStation Store, among other reasons, doesn't charge you on the spot. Casino is cancel. Ubisoft has issued a statement saying that the beta has already reached capacity. We are seeing an unprecedented level of interest in the Division closed beta, and we want to warmly thank our fans for their enthusiasm and passion. We have already reached the capacity of players needed to test the game and online infrastructure during the beta and to prepare for the launch of the game on PS4 on March 8th. As a result, we are closing access to the closed beta through the PSN pre-order system. Publisher published a list of affected countries, which includes the UK, Australia, France, Germany, Ireland, United Arab Emirates, and others. The Division beta starts on PC and PlayStation 4 this afternoon. Yeah, that was the 29th, Friday. They did extend it a day, which is cool. but I'm curious to know how many people that was. Like, was it 5,000
Yeah, no.
people? Was it 10,000 people? Was it?
There is.
Uh,
Plus, the thing that frustrates me is, and I think I spoke to you about this on Skype or something, but there have been people that have been in the beta and they just don't like it.
mm.
They don't like it at all.
Yeah, some people were saying they don't like the tactics-based, cover-based shooting and things like
They
that.
don't like the way the cover works at all. They don't think the controls work well.
I mean, and
they think
those
it
are
looks
valid.
terrible.
They're valid
And
criticisms.
I mean, that's
My
fine.
thing is the
Also,
looking terrible thing. I think people need to stop. I think people need to really stop. I think people are always like, you know, so I don't remember who it was. I don't remember where it was. Who sent it to me? Somebody said that the Division looks like a 360 game, and it's like,
yeah, I sent you that on Skype.
Oh,
yeah,
it was you? Okay, it's like.
Saw a post on Reddit. Someone
that has to be
the
nicest looking 360 game ever, then, because
yeah,
like,
well, someone told him they're like, "What 360 game were you playing then that actually looked like this?"
Yeah, because like the reality is I can only think of a handful of games that would have had this level of quality on the Xbox, and it's like Gears of War in the later years, and much like how The Last of Us looked so good on the PS3 at the end of its life cycle when they'd finally figured out how to maximize all of the, you know, RAM and power of the machine, right?
Oh, yeah.
I imagine that Halo, Gears of War, and those two franchises would be the two that come to mind that like their final games at the end of the life cycle of 360 would have looked amazing versus like the Division. Like, even when I'm watching it on stream, it looks good. Like, it doesn't.
It's so great, yeah.
Like, my question always ends up being, what the fuck do you expect? Really?
Yeah.
Like, I get so. It's like, and it's one of those things that grinds my gears to no end. If your criticism of the game comes down to, well, it doesn't look as good as some other game, then that means the game's pretty damn flawless. If the only thing you're criticizing is what it looks like at face value, like you're looking at it, it's like, you know, I've only watched it on stream and I think the game looks pretty good. I've never actually watched it from my console on my TV, you know?
Right.
Like, I just, nope. You know, and I'm tired of people being like, oh, the E3 version looked way better. That happens all the time.
Yeah, that's the build they usually have to have anyways. That's the build they have at the time.
But it's like, yeah, but it doesn't matter. So many things, like, think about Cars. You know, think about the concept version of Cars versus, like, what ends up on the dealership. You know? The car
didn't always look like,
yeah, like, they have to make changes. Sometimes that means graphical changes. You know, remember that when they use the debug and dev kit PS4s, and I'm sure the dev kit Xbox Ones, they are like 2 times as powerful as a regular PS4.
Right.
Like I don't know. I'm not going to speak to the Xbox One. I don't know. I know that the PlayStation dev kit has 16 gigs of RAM.
Oh,
it doesn't have 8. It has twice the amount of RAM because they are running unoptimized builds. So that means that maybe they can push crazier looking graphics on a dev kit build and, you know, capture that footage to make their B-roll for whatever trailer or thing when they release the game. And then, unfortunately, maybe they can't compress it all down to run at an acceptable rate, which I'm sure is probably 30 or 60 frames at this point now. You know, that they then have to be like, okay, well, what do we have to remove to make it fall into that threshold? Yeah. And that happens on everything. That happens on PC. That happens on PlayStation. That happens on Xbox. I'm sure it happens on Nintendo. Though probably not, because nothing they do really captures much from the console. But, you know, the games look good. Like, the games...
Still, yeah.
You know, the games aren't... Like, if that were the case, who would buy a Nintendo? If you're buying it solely on graphics...
Then you're buying the wrong console, clearly.
But you're also you're buying games for the wrong reason.
Right, no, yeah,
exactly.
You know,
I don't, like...
If it looks pretty but plays like crap,
yeah.
What do I need it?
Or, like, looks really pretty, but the game just sucks. Like, if Hannah Montana was, like, the most realistic, amazing-looking game, I still wouldn't buy it.
No. Okay.
So,
Okay.
um, and I feel like I've been really, really harsh this episode.
No, like someone needs to say it, you know?
I just
Everyone
like
else is like
I
no
don't
one
know.
everyone's too quiet about it. Someone finally has to say something. It's like, hey, stop what you're doing, you know?
I like my problem is in part of this
And
is
I don't think it's harsh. I just you're being real,
that's true
you know?
too. I mean,
You're being real.
I'm being as honest
You're
as I
not beating
can
around the
because
bush.
I could be like the Xbox One sucks. It's a piece of crap hardware. It's too big and it's got an external power supply, which is like, oh, what are we in the Stone Age? Like I want it to work. If the
Right.
console was if the console was 2 times bigger than it is now, I would be like, man, this is one clunky ass piece of crap. But does it play games? Like think about the look of the original Xbox. It's ugly. And it had a
It's
domed
terrible.
top so you couldn't stack anything on top of it like safely. It's like remember like when I first had the consoles together, I had the Xbox One on top of my PS4. When I first set up my like little table for gaming, I put the Xbox One right on top of the PS4, and everyone was like, "Dude, you're gonna kill your PS4," and I was like, "Probably," because the heat can't go anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
um, and the Xbox One is all vents, and it's like,
Oh
well,
God, yeah. So and
but
everyone's
again,
different.
I don't care. I put it on the
No.
table, and I'm not thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's not a presentation piece. It's an entertainment piece.
Yeah. Like I actually use this thing. It's not
Yeah.
just there.
It's like people who buy trucks and don't do anything with them.
Right.
Like, or like they get upset. Like, and you know what? I'll be honest. I would get upset if I bought a brand new truck and it got like scratched up. But I bought a truck.
Okay.
I have to
Mhm.
remember that it's a pickup truck, or it's whatever. Like, it has a use when you
Mhm.
throw and then it's like, and then at one point you're like, man, my truck has character now because it's like kind of banged up.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like, yeah, there's tons of things I could just nitpick about the Xbox or the PlayStation. Like, why does it not have a vertical stand with it?
Right.
Why can't the Xbox One go vertical at all? Oh, because then you'd be blocking an entire vent on one side of the console,
Yep.
or a vent in a USB port. Not a good idea either.
No. Yeah.
So, it's
See,
the
but you're
PlayStation.
actually giving reasons though, and you're not just saying, "Oh, it sucks," and that's it. Like
Yeah,
most
well,
people,
because
it's
it's
just,
like,
"Ah, it
why? That's
sucks."
just dumb.
That's it.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't. The second you start saying stuff
Only
like that,
white things there.
I've tuned out. Right?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, and it's no different than like the problem is this type of thing always exists, right? Coke and Pepsi. Coke is
Ugh.
better. No, Pepsi's better. Pepsi's so much smoother, so
Mhm.
crisp and refreshing. And Coke has a red label, so they're communists. I heard they totally supported Stalin back in the day. Like,
Tell me that that's not real.
I used to always joke about this. Mobile gas.
Yeah.
That's got a red O in the logo and everything else. Then the logo and everything else is blue.
Yep.
I would always call it the communist O. I was like, yeah, fucking Mobile with their communist O. Goddamn red O sticking out.
Bastards.
And that was like that for the longest time. I always because everyone would be like, oh, when people first noticed the arrow in the FedEx logo,
Oh yeah.
hidden between the E and the X and
Yeah.
or the D and FedEx. No, it's
Seeing
the E
it.
and the X. And I was just like, yeah. I was like, well, you ever see the communist O in Mobile? And that was like a thing. But it's like, you've got Coke and Pepsi, you've got Canon and Nikon,
Mhm.
right? And again, same thing. And I think Canon and Nikon is probably the best example between like PS4 and Xbox. And I think that Canon is to PS4 as Nikon is to
On the
Xbox.
Xbox.
Because I think that Canon, and again, I've used both, owned both.
Mhm.
Um 35 mil. I've never owned a Nikon DSLR. I owned Canon DSLRs. But I've owned both Canon and Nikon SLR 35 mil cameras.
Mhm.
And I think that the Canon tends to be simpler and easier to use.
Mhm.
And I think the Nikon has more. They both have the same adjustments and abilities, right? But
Right.
I think that the Nikon throws it in your face more. Like if you physically look at the cameras, there's just the button configuration, the external setup of the physical camera it's more at those adjustments are more at your fingertips on the Nikon than they are on the Canon.
The Canon, yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Much like I think that with the PS4 you have less abilities to change stuff, but that's because the console's kind of set up to just do it and go, right? And
Right.
and this analogy's not perfect. So for those of you listening, like, just bear with me. So
Just go.
like
It'll work.
The Xbox
Work.
throws a ton at your face when you open up that console, right? It's all the stuff on the dashboard, all the different tabbed over menus and things like that. Much like the way I think of when I use a Nikon camera. Now, again, if you only ever use Nikon cameras, that would seem normal to you. Much like
Right.
if you've always used Xbox, then that kind of interface probably doesn't bother you. Whereas if you've ever used both, or you were using PS4 and then you went to Xbox, you would be like, I don't get why it has to be like this, right? So same thing. Mac, like, it's like these things exist, right? They always will, and I think there's always going to be people like me who I just want it to work. I just want it to work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I like my MacBook does everything I need it to do. It doesn't do certain things, so I have a PC for that.
Right.
I drink Pepsi and Coke because I don't care. If I go to a restaurant and they say, "Is Pepsi okay?" I go, "Yeah, it's fine."
Yeah, don't care. Whatever, man.
It's like
beverage.
Mac, PC, Canon, Nikon, PS4, Xbox, Gibson, Fender. Gibson sound better. No. Fenders. The Les Paul is so much better than a Stratocaster. No. Stratocaster's better than a Les Paul. Like, nope. They both can sound beautiful, man. It's all and you know what? The people who have those arguments aren't the people who are truly enjoying them, right? Because if I'm chilling with my homies and someone's busting out some sick ass tunes, I don't give a fuck what they're playing on.
Right? If it sounds good,
I'm good, I'm in, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not listening to music being like, is this 128 kilobytes per second or is this 112?
Right.
I'm hearing some tin in this audio. Is this
Instantly
AAC?
judging.
What file format is this? Is this .mp3 or .m4a? Like, I think people they just have to argue about it. And I don't want to argue about I don't want to argue about nitpicky shit. I want to argue about, like, things that I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why the Xbox is so slow. I'm not saying I don't like the Xbox. I'm just asking, why is it so slow?
Yeah.
Which, like, I don't care if you use Nikon cameras. And generally speaking, when people ask me, which isn't very often, but, like, when I had people ask me about cameras, and I was like, have you used Canons before or Nikons before? And they were like, Nikons. And I'm like, then buy a Nikon. Buy a Nikon digital SLR camera. It will be more familiar to you. Both the Canon and the Nikon take awesome pictures. It does not matter which one you get.
Right.
The lenses are both equally good. You're probably, if you really are getting serious into photography anyways, are going to buy different lenses than what comes with them.
It's true.
So it doesn't matter. Much like if you really want to play Gears of War, well, then you probably have to buy an Xbox. And the same thing happens when it's like a game like Destiny, right? Hey, should I get? I'm finally.
What version should I get?
I'm finally gonna I'm finally gonna step up to the plate. I'm gonna get a next gen console. What should I get? Should I get the PS4 or the Xbox? My first question to anyone who asks is, what do your friends have?
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're gonna want to play with your friends, so you're probably gonna get whatever they have. So if they have PS4, well, you're probably getting a PS4, and if they have Xbox, well, then you should get an Xbox, unless you don't want to play with your friends.
Right. No. Yeah. If you're
like, both play the both play games. Both are really good. One of my brother's friends, he was gonna get a PS4 until PT got canceled. He was gonna buy a PS4 for PT. But it got canceled, so
it switched over.
So he had an Xbox. He had already.
Gotcha.
He already had an Xbox One. He was always on Xbox, and I asked him one time, I was like, "Are you ever gonna get a PS4?" And he was like, I was because of PT. PT gets canceled. He's
Ooh.
like, I have no desire to get a PS4.
Fair enough.
Because he's like, there's nothing else that I really want, right? Because he's
Yeah.
like, I have my Metal Gear Solid. I have
Right,
my
yeah.
Halo. I have my, Destiny and my, I don't remember what the other game that he wanted that was on both consoles, right?
Right, yeah.
It's like, yes, are there console exclusives? Absolutely. That
Sure,
would be,
yeah.
that's the second question, right? The first question is, what do your friends have? Because that's just ultimately, that's why you buy these things.
Right, yeah.
You buy
The
these
general
games to
question,
play them with your friends and
with
have
your
fun.
friends, exactly.
That should be the primary thing that these are for. It is. I didn't buy an Xbox One because the PS4 is a piece of shit. Like, no, I bought it because all my friends are on it and it has Halo, right? It's like that's. It's one of those things I just don't grasp it. Like
Right.
like when my friend bought a Ford truck, I wasn't like, Ford, fix or repair daily.
Yeah.
Chevy runs deep, baby. Like, I don't know, whatever. Cool. That's awesome. Your truck is sweet. It's probably going to last just as long as the truck that I have, or that, that Fred down the street has, or, whoever. Bobby Joe down in, like, Dodge is better than Chevy is better than Ford. I don't care.
Right? It's like, get out of my face.
Like, I have had better luck with Chevys than I've had with Fords in my personal experience. So I'm probably going to buy a Chevy.
Right.
But I know people who absolutely hate Chevy.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll never buy another one, right? And it's because of their experience. So, like, why are you going to now... So there's these people online who argue with you over your experience and your feelings of a game, and then resort to, like, insults and attacks and stuff. And it's like, I just...
Third-grade insults, yeah.
I don't know, what is wrong with you? What is this? Is it, like, are you that I want to say insecure, but it's not. It's not insecurity. It's like, are you that unintelligent? Are you that stupid?
Or elitist, I guess.
I don't even see it as elitist.
In some form, depending on what they say, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, most of them think they're right, so I guess. But it's like you can't.
Some just like using common sense.
Well, yeah, because like I don't get, like, you can't accept someone's enjoyment of a thing that's different from your enjoyment of a thing.
Because you don't like it.
Because you have to go tell them that they're wrong for enjoying it.
Right. Just stupid.
It's like, it's the same thing with guns, right? I'm very pro gun. I think people probably know that by now. I don't go and tell people who are anti-gun to pay, like, I don't get into arguments with them. I've had plenty of discussions with people who are anti-gun. Some people who, and usually it always ends up with them telling me I'm like some evil person, and I usually just tune them out, and that's kind of it. If that's where you're going with this discussion, then whatever, we're done.
We're done talking.
Yeah, cool.
Exactly.
Whatever. It's like I like both. I like both. All right. I like my Xbox. I like my PS4. I like Gibsons. I love Fenders.
So I have the trifecta.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. The trifecta is a Les Paul, a Stratocaster, and a Telecaster.
Yeah.
And that's two Fenders and a Gibson.
Right.
Now,
just get yourself the trifecta. That's why I say.
I have a Gibson, and I have a Fender, and a Takamine. Great guitars. I don't like Ibanez really much. Not that anybody cares what my guitar preference is, but I don't like. It's not Ibanez that has the plastic backs.
No, I don't have a Fender. I have an Ibanez.
Yeah,
but my guitar buddy was telling me it's good because it's a good basic one.
Yeah, they're like, that's the thing, right? It doesn't matter. If you put, it's like any talented person, right? Anybody who's like skilled at something, right? Like if you put like pro Halo players in front of someone else's Xbox, right, with a regular Xbox controller, they're probably going to school you without their scuff and their control freaks or whatever. They're probably just better than you at this thing, right? They are able to do more with, and so, like, if I put $100 guitar in John Mayer's hands or Eric Clapton's hands, right?
Mm.
He's gonna make that thing sing.
Yeah, they're not going to be confused.
Yeah, it's not like they can't play it well because it's less expensive than Taylor, right? And it's like I don't know.
They'll probably just laugh at you, but I mean, whatever.
Well, they wouldn't
can
even laugh at you. They'd just be like, it doesn't. Their attitude, which is the right attitude to have, would be
whatever.
Learn. You can learn how to play on this. You can learn how to play incredibly well on this, and then you'll appreciate the nicer guitars out there. But it won't hinder you from looking at a different guitar. That's the thing, right? If you put any guitar in my hand, I'll be able to play it. Not super well. I'm not like the greatest guitar player in the world, but much like if you put a camera in my hand, I can take a picture.
Right.
If you put a controller in my hand, I can play the game, right?
Mm.
Obviously, Xbox, PS4, Nintendo, the controllers are all a little bit different, but it's different. Fundamentally, I will enjoy playing the game.
Exactly. Yeah.
There's some games I won't like, but I will have fun playing a game regardless of the console it is on. So I don't understand this necessity to sit there and bash people. But at the same time, it's human nature. It's just the way people are, and it's not just the gaming industry.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we ended up on this tangent about cars and guitars and cameras and Coke,
right,
and Pepsi. Sprite and Sierra Mist. McDonald's versus Burger King.
Right. It's
versus Wendy's. Walmart versus Target.
Yeah.
Which is like, people like to, and we'll end on this. I don't want to keep.
I got you. Ranting.
Because it's just like this became a rant. So, for reference, for people who think that like Walmart and Target are like hugely direct competitors, this was a while back, but. And I probably said this before because it's just an interesting thing. So, St. Patrick's Day.
Mm-hmm.
On St. Patrick's Day, on or around St. Patrick's Day, Walmart's sales at that point in time are Target's sales for the year.
Oh, wow.
For the entire year. Which one would be like, well, that means they're like 4 times as large as Target. Yeah, they are. They are 4 times. They are like 4 times bigger than Target. So like,
our main competitor.
Just understand that. Yeah, like they are like direct competitors, but Walmart is so far and away bigger than they are.
Right. Well, I mean, I work at Dillon's, and Walmart is our main competitor.
Right. Well, Walmart's everybody's competitor.
Well, yeah.
But it's like, it's one of those things like. People are like, oh, I
shop it here because of this. Or
I shop here because, and that's the thing, right? It's the same thing over and over again. But it's like, but I can say, oh, I just shop at Walmart, and someone's not like, fuck you, I can't believe you shop at Walmart.
Yeah,
Target's so much better. Like, whatever, cool.
Yeah. Okay. Don't care.
Yeah. So that's
like we've had Walmart employees come into our store. No one says anything. We don't care.
Yeah. Whatever.
Don't care.
Like I go into competitors of, what we do. Like I go into other, businesses that are similar to what I do and stuff. And it's like, just to see what they do. I'm curious. I want to know how, I don't think it's not a grass is always greener type thing. It's just you learn from what other people are doing. Like I don't doubt that the people at Xbox spent time playing PS4. Playing PS3, right? Looking at how they set everything up and how their system worked.
Exactly.
Like, the only people in the gaming industry who I think don't pay attention to what anyone else does? Call of Duty. Because it's the same thing.
Activision, Infinity Ward, all of them. Yeah, because they know people are going to buy it. They have a loyal fan base. They know they're going to buy it. That's why. So they're like, here's you go. Call of Duty 17.
Yeah. And then that's like another example, Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Or, Call of Duty versus Halo. It's like
each game has features that can lock in specific players.
Yeah. And again, I'll play all of them. I don't care.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to tell everybody
do was
He's
that
just
Hodge Twins? Was that
I
Hodge Twins?
oh, is that a Hodge Twins things? I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't going with Hodge Twins things. I was gonna
I do.
say that they should just play the games and have fun. And if you like
Yeah,
the game, be
enjoy
like, hey, I
yourself.
like this game. This game is
Yeah.
all right. And if you didn't like the game, be
So,
like, I didn't like this game. It didn't really tickle my fancy. Okay?
you don't have to shit on something
But you
because
don't have
someone else
to
likes
you don't
it.
have to go search through Twitter threads or Reddit and find that one person was like, I really enjoyed this game because it was a lot of fun, and be like, nah, you're wrong. I hate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope
Exactly.
you get diseases.
Yeah, just let that person enjoy it.
Like, I
You
don't
can
know.
agree to disagree, but don't tell them that they're wrong. You know,
Anyways, it just be like,
be friendly, nice.
why? Like, I don't know. It's one
Let
of those
people
things. This is
enjoy
why I want to delete social media. I'm tired of seeing people fighting for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Like, and again, I'm not guilty of this, and I'm not.
No, I've had
like,
my moments.
I've had times where I'm just like, whatever, dude. And usually it's one of those things where I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. Like, that's cool. Do a solar beam, have fun.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, and then go ahead and tweet that you won the conversation because I just didn't engage you. It's like, whatever, I don't care. Play games, have fun.
Yeah, enjoy them.
Like, just that's
They were
the
meant
whole
to be
point.
enjoyed.
That's the point. I don't care what console you play. You play games,
No.
cool. High five.
Yeah. Let's enjoy them together.
But if you're one of those people, then get fucked.
Get out of my face. I don't. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it for me. I'm done. Be sure to follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/DGCastTV. Follow us on Twitter at the DGCast. Check out the website. Check out the YouTube, youtube.com/c/the DGCast. I have totally lacked on posting any videos. Like I said, I've been in a bad mood all week, basically. And I'm going to try and kick it up a notch again. My sleep schedule got all out of whack. I'm going to try and fix it up. So, yeah, just like be cool. Everybody just chill.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, so follow us. I don't have any shoutouts this week because I don't think that anybody needs. I mean, shout out to The Division because everyone seems to want to play.
Shout out to Ubisoft. You did
the thing.
You did good work then.
Yeah, but do you have anything else to say?
Not really. Basically, just what you said. Be cool. Be easy.
Here we go. That's it, everybody. Just relax. Just woosah. Bad voice. Anyways, yeah, just relax, everybody. Relax, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll catch you
On the flip.